व्यासं पूजयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीर्वुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. I'll just quickly summarize last week's. Last week we began with the 71st anuccheda. The 71st anuccheda, the theme of this anuccheda is that the vaikuntha loka is not known to the ritualistic followers of the Vedas, those who are absorbed in the karma kanda section of the Vedas. So the verse which is quoted by Jiva Goswami is from the Narada Prachina Barishat Samvad. Swam lokam na vidustevai yatra devo janardanah ahur dhumradiyo vedam sakarmakam atadvidah. So the swam lokam, dhumradiyo, those whose intelligence are clouded with the smoke, that means those whose intelligence are absorbed in the karmakanda section, they are unaware of the real purpose of the Veda. And they think that the goal of the Vedas is to be only to keep performing the karma kanda. Such people, they do not know the abode of Lord Janardhan, the Vaikuntha Loka. And then the 72nd Anucheda, we couldn't, it's a very long Anucheda, we just covered a part of it. The 72nd Anucheda, the main theme of this Anucheda is that Dhruvaloka, which is within the Brahmanda, that Dhruvaloka is also transcendental Vaikuntha. Dhruvaloka is an embassy of Vaikuntha within the material world. And the verse which is quoted is from the 6th canto, 9th chapter. Paramahamsa Parivrajakaihi Paramena Atma Yoga Samadhina Paribhavita Parisputa Paramahamsya Dharmena Udghatita Tamak Kapata Dware Chitte Apavrita Atma Loke Swayam Upalabdha Nijasukanubhavo Bhavan. So this verse says that, "O Bhagavan, I bow down to you." The Devatas are bowing down to the Lord. You are tasting the bliss derived from your own self in your own abode, Atma Loka. And this abode is discovered within the heart by the highest Parivrajaka Acharyas, by the topmost wandering ascetics, Parivrajakacharya. Chitta apavrita, whose consciousness is uncovered, Udgatita tamodvara, after the gates of darkness have been unlocked. Udgatita tamodvara, by the practice of the Paramahamsya Dharma, the Dharma of ultimate completion, which is revealed and realized in the highest state of the yogic trance in the self. So this is the shloka 6.9.33. So in this shloka, the word Atma Loka refers to Vaikuntha Loka, the Brahma Loka. Other references are given. Brahma Loka, Atma Loke, Yesha Brahma Loka. Brahma Loka means here the Brahma refers to the absolute truth, not the Devata Brahma. Atma Loka refers to the Vaikuntha. And then he went on to, Jiva Goswami went on to quote various references. He quoted a shloka from the Mundaka Upanishad, Divya Brahmapure Hyesha Paramatma Pratishtitaha. Pippalada Shaka, how the Vaikuntha is described over there. This anuccheda is filled with various references from various scriptures which give a description of Vaikuntha. And then from Mahanarayana Upanishad, Parena Nakam Nihitam Guhayam Bibrajate Yad Yatayo Vishanti. Great yogis, they enter that Vaikuntha, which is situated above all the planets. And then he quoted from Narsimha Tapani Upanishad. This also we went through last time, and therefore I'm going through a little fast. The Narsimha Tapani Upanishad, Vaikuntha is described in detail. So there is a mantra which we chant in the deity worship in the temple. Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayah Diviva Chakshuratatam Tad Vipraso Vipanyavo Jagruvamsa Samindate Vishnoryat Paramam Padam. You can see this mantra. This is a mantra from the Rig Veda. In this mantra in the Rig Veda, the abode, the Vaikuntha is described. The same mantra in Rig Veda is also described in this verse of the Narsimha Tapani Upanishad. The Puranas, so this Rig Veda mantra, what is the meaning of the Rig Veda mantra? The devotees, Om Tadvishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayah. The devotees always see that supreme abode of Sri Vishnu, Divi Iva Chakshuratatam, which extends all around like sunlight in the sky. And the Brahmanas, who always attentively glorify the Lord, render that abode even more brilliant. And this is the supreme abode of Vishnu. And then Jiva Goswami says that the above description given in the Narsimha Tapani Upanishad or in the Rig Veda, it does not refer to the qualityless impersonal Brahman. It does not refer to that impersonal Brahman, because if we interpret these verses as referring to the impersonal Brahman, then it will lead to many contradictions. It will lead to other contradictions. So that he says that. And then he quoted a series of shloka from the Vishnu Purana. Yataha Shri Vishnu Puranecha Shri Vishnu Loka Muddishya Rigiyam Anusmrita. In the Vishnu Purana also, the abode of Vishnu is described keeping in mind the same Rigveda mantra. So we went through these shlokas also, Vishnu Purana shloka, very beautiful shlokas about the description of Vaikuntha. And then Tapani Shrutautu Yatra Na Vayurvati Ityadikam Prakrita Tattan matra nishedatmakam tatrapi tattat shravanat. This also we discussed. When it is explained in the Narsimha Tapani Upanishad, the Vaikuntha, in Vaikuntha there is no air. Yatra na vayurvati, wind does not blow. What does it mean? It means that Vaikuntha does not have the material tanmatras which we see in this world. The Panchamahabhuta, earth, water, fire, air, ether, which we see in this world, these are not present in Vaikuntha. But at the same time, Vaikuntha is made of spiritual counterparts of this earth, water, fire, and air and ether. Vaikuntha there are spiritual counterparts of this Pancha Mahabhuta. So Vaikuntha is made of them. So that is explained here. Because other verses confirm this. And then Jiva Goswami quoted from the Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 9th chapter. Dhruva Maharaj, because his heart was pierced by the sharp words of his stepmother, Suruchi. So initially, when he went to perform austerities, what was there in his mind was that he only wanted to take revenge against his stepmother. He wanted to achieve a great position. Naichan mukti pader muktam tasma tapam upeyivan. Because his heart was pierced by the sharp words of Suruchi, therefore he did not desire Vaikuntha. He did not ask for the initial motivation was not Vaikuntha. But later he regretted that he desired, that he did not desire for Vaikuntha. He did not desire the service of the Lord. Rather, he desired only the position greater than that of Lord Brahma. So, how Dhruva Maharaj repents, that is also explained in this shloka. We had discussed last week itself. Aho bata mamanatmyam mandabhagyasya pashyata bhavachchida padamulam gatva yache yadantavat. Dhruva Maharaj regrets that I am so unfortunate that when I arrived at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, who can end one's material existence, Bhavachchida Pada Moolam, the Supreme Lord can end one's material existence, but Yache Yad Antavat. But instead, I desired for those benedictions which have a beginning and end. I desired only those benedictions which comes to an end. I desired something temporary. So in this shlokas also, in this shlokas, in the context of this shloka, there's another shloka which comes. So therefore, Dhruva Maharaj felt incomplete. Dhruva Maharaj, although he was awarded Vaikuntha, but he regretted for his initial motivation with which he began his devotional service. Iti Shri Dhruvasya apurnam manyata shruyate. Dhruva Maharaj felt incomplete because he regretted for his initial motivation. So that he desired to acquire a lucrative position within the material world. So in that connection, this shloka comes 4.9.28. That Vidura, this shloka is the Vidura asking a question to Maitreya Rishi. Sudurlabam yat paramam padam harehe. Dhruva Maharaj attained the most rare abode. The supreme abode of Sri Hari is a very rare attainment. Sudurlabam. And in fact, the Lord himself told Dhruva Maharaj. So Vidura's question was that if Dhruva Maharaj attained the very rare abode of Vaikuntha, then why did he regret? Why did he regret? So Dhruva Maharaj regretted for the initial motivation with which he began his devotional service. Because the more a person becomes pure, the more a person becomes purified, one will also repent for his past sinful activities. One will repent for his past material desires. Prabhupada says in one purport in 6th canto, 2nd chapter, and Ajamil repented after seeing Vishnu Dutas. When Ajamil repented, after hearing the conversation between the Vishnu Dutas and Yamadutas, and how he was saved by the Vishnu Dutas, Ajamil repented for all the past sinful activities. There in that purport, Prabhupada says that the sign of a sincere devotee is that he repents for his past sinful activities. And the standard of a sinful devotee is that, yeah, the standard of a sincere devotee is that he repents for his past mistakes. So therefore, Dhruva Maharaj also repented. So in that connection, the Lord also told Dhruva Maharaj this shloka. Tato gantasi matstanam sarvaloka namaskritam uparishtad rishibhyastvam yato navartate gata. So the Lord told Dhruva Maharaj, you will attain my abode, matstanam gantasi. That abode is sarvaloka namaskritam. It is worshipped by all the other planets in this world. Sarvaloka namaskritam. Uparishtad rishibhyastvam. And this abode of Dhruvaloka, the Lord is speaking about the Dhruvaloka. Dhruvaloka is the embassy of the Vaikuntha within the material world. So this Dhruvaloka is respected by all the planets. Uparishtad rishibhyastvam. This Dhruvaloka is situated above the Saptarishi Loka. Is above the region of the 7 rishis. Yato navartate gataha. Having attained that, one never returns this world. And further references are mentioned about this Vaikuntha. Atishta jagatam vandyam tadvishnu paramam padam. The Vishnu Dutas, they told Dhruva Maharaj, 4.12.26. 4th canto, 12th chapter is the Dhruva Maharaj going to Vaikuntha. When the Vishnu Dutas came and met Dhruva Maharaj, they came with the Vaikuntha airplane. They said that, come, enter this aeroplane and we will go to the Vishnu Loka, which is the supreme abode, Paramam Padam. And elsewhere in the Dhruva Maharaj, the 4th canto, 13th chapter also it is mentioned that Dhruvasya Vaikuntha Padadi Rohanam. That means the Dhruvaloka, Dhruva Maharaj went to the pole star. And that pole star planet Dhruvaloka is nothing but the Vaikuntha. Another pramana is this particular shloka, because it is mentioned that Vaikuntha Padadi Rohanam. Dhruva Maharaj entering to the Vaikuntha abode. That means that Dhruvaloka pole star is nothing but Vaikuntha only. And then further, from the 5th canto, Jiva Goswami gives 2 references. In the 5th canto, there is a chapter, 5th canto, 22nd chapter is the description of the pole star. The 5th canto, if you see chapter number, I think 16th chapter onwards, if I remember properly. 16th chapter onwards till the 26th chapter, there is a description of the entire Brahmanda. What are the different planets in this particular Brahmanda? So there, when it's a description of the pole star, it is mentioned that Vishnoryat Paramam Padam Pradakshinam Prakramanti. So that means the Sapta Rishis, the 7 sages, they circumambulate this abode of Dhruvaloka. Because this is the abode of, this is nothing but Vaikuntha. This is the abode of Lord Vishnu. Yad Vishnu Paramam Padam Abhivadanti. Another shloka in the same section of the fifth canto. Yad Vishnu Paramam Padam Abhivadanti. So all these shlokas are quoted. The voice called Dhruvaloka, the supreme abode of Sri Vishnu. And then further, another reference is quoted from the Vedanta Sutra. Prapancha antargatatve api tad dharma muktatvam. Although this Dhruvaloka is within the Prapancha, is within the material world, Prapancha antargatatve api, but tad dharma muktatvam. But the Dhruvaloka does not have the characteristics of the material world. Tad dharma muktatvam. And for that, the Vedanta Sutra is quoted. Vikara vartiche tatahi thitimaha iti nyayena. That means that the living liberated dwell not in the ever changing. The living liberated people, although they appear to be living in the material world, but because of their vaikuntha consciousness, they don't live in the material world, rather they live in vaikuntha. They actually live in vaikuntha by their vaikuntha consciousness. And then so then Jiva Goswami says that so within the material world, this Dhruvaloka, which is nothing but the embassy of Vaikuntha within the material world, when the Brahmanda is destroyed, when this universe is destroyed, only the external surface of this Vaikuntha is destroyed. But the internal core of Vaikuntha becomes unmanifest. Atosmin loke prapanchikasya bahiramshasyaiva pralayo jnayah. When the Brahmanda is destroyed, only the external surface appearance of Vaikuntha is destroyed. But the internal core of Vaikuntha within the material world, that becomes unmanifest. Tasyatu tadanim antardhanam eva. And then he quotes a shloka from the 7th canto, 7.3.11. 7.3.11. Hiranyakashipu went in search of Lord Vishnu. So there is a Vaikuntha planet created by the Lord called as Vaikuntha, the Lord Vaikuntha, for the pleasure of his Rama Devi. He created a Vaikuntha within the material world. Hiranyakashipu went there because he is a materialist. A person who is absorbed in material consciousness cannot enter Vaikuntha, cannot perceive Vaikuntha. So therefore Hiranyakashipu, he came to the wrong conclusion. Himanyai kala nirdutai kalpante vaishnavadibihi. So what is the meaning of this? Hiranyakashipu says that by the influence of time, except for Satyaloka, that is Brahma's abode, all the other planets, such as the Vishnu Loka, are destroyed at the end of Brahma's day. So this is the conclusion of Hiranyakashipu because of being absorbed in the material consciousness. So because of being absorbed in material consciousness, he thought that except for the Brahma's abode, all the planets, including Vishnu's abode, will get destroyed. But actually, this is the wrong conclusion because of being absorbed in the matter. So, and then Jiva Goswami says that Ata Shri Makavaikuntase Tadrishatvam to Sutarameva. So we saw so many verses, so many references above, which discussed that, which mentioned that the Dhruvaloka, which is there within the Brahmanda, which is nothing but the representation of Vaikuntha within the Brahmanda, that Dhruvaloka is a transcendental. If the Dhruvaloka, the embassy of Vaikuntha within the material world is transcendental, then what to speak of the Vaikuntha beyond the material realm? Definitely that must be transcendental. So then Jiva Goswami quoted a series of shlokas from the Padma Purana Uttarakanda. So there Lord Shiva is giving a description to Parvati. So Prakriti Antargata Vibhuti Varnananantaram Tadrishatvam Abhivyanjitam Sri Shrivena. So after giving a description of the material world, after giving the description of the opulence of the material world, Lord Shiva, by citing various statements from the Shruti, narrated the glories of Vaikuntha in a similar way. So these shlokas also we went through last time. Yeah, maybe we'll start from here. We'll just go through these shlokas. Evam prakrita rupaya vibhute rupamuttamam tripad vibhuti rupam tu shrunu budara nandini. So Lord Shiva is saying that Evam, in this way, I have described the opulences of the material world. Now, let me describe the opulences of the Tripad Vibhuti, the Vaikuntha. Please hear this. Shrunu, Budara Nandini. Budara Nandini means he is addressing Parvati. Oh, Budara Nandini, in this way I have described to you the excellent splendors of the material world. Now, hear the opulence of the Vaikuntha. Pradana Paramavyom Nor Antare Virajanadi Vedanga Sveda Janita Toyai Prasravita Shubha. So this Tripad Vibhuti is Pradana Parama Vyomner. This Tripad Vibhuti between the unmanifest primordial nature, Pradana, and the transcendental sky, Parama Vyoma. Vyoma means the sky. Parama Vyoma means a transcendental sky. So between the Pradana, Pradana is the unmanifest material nature. Between the Pradana and the transcendental sky, there is the Viraja Nadi. That means between the material world and the transcendental world, there is a Viraja Nadi. And this Viraja Nadi, Vedanga Sveda Janita, Toyai Prasravita Shubha. This Viraja Nadi is composed of the perspiration of the Vedas personified. Svedaja means Sveda refers to perspiration. So there are 4 kinds of living entities. Some living entities are born from the sweat. They are called as Svedaja. Andaja, Svedaja, and there are 2 more. Living entities born from the seed. Living entities born from the eggs. And living entities born in the womb. And living entities born in the perspiration. So Vedanga Sveda Janita Toyai Prasravita Shubha. This Viraja Nadi is actually made from the sweat of the Vedas personified. And it is a pure flow of water. Usually the sweat of a material body is impure. It does not have a good smell. But this Viraja Nivar contains the pure flow of water from the perspiration of the personified Vedas. And then Lord Shiva gives a description of the Tripad Vibhuti. Tasya pare paravyoma tripad bhutam sanatanam Amritam Shashvatam Nityam Anantam Paramam Padam Shuddha Sattvamayam Divyam Aksharam Brahmana Padam Aneka Koti Suryagni Tulya Varchasam Avyayam Sarva Vedamayam Shubram Sarva Pralaya Varjitam Asankhya Majaram Nityam Jagrat Swapnadi Varjitam Hiranmayam Mokshapadam Brahmananda Sukhavakam Samanadikya Rahitam Adyanta Rahitam Shubham Tejasadyadbhutam Ramyam Nityamananda Sagaram Yevamadi Tadvishno Paramam Padam. So somebody can read the translation. I'll show you the translation. So from here, beyond the river, beyond this river.
Beyond this river exists the transcendental sky, Param Vyoma, which is unlimited and manifests threefold dimensionality of being, later specified in Anuccheda 78 as immortality, fearlessness, and all auspicious. It is immortal, changeless, eternal, and unending, the supreme station. It is the transcendental abode of the Lord. Sorry, one call came. Just 1 minute. God. It is the transcendental abode of Lord, consisting of pure sattva, and is immutable, imperishable, and equal in effulgence to billions of suns. It is the embodiment of all Vedic knowledge, pure, undecaying, incalculable, free from dissolution, eternal, and devoid of states such as wakefulness and sleep. It is pure, golden, the place of liberation, and includes within itself the bliss of Brahman realization. It has no beginning or end, and nothing is equal or superior to it. It is auspicious, wonderfully brilliant, eternal, and ocean of bliss. This place, the reservoir of all such qualities, is called the supreme abode of Sri Vishnu. The sun, Prabhuji, even him uses this word, no? So the supreme station.
Yeah. So this is the Tadvishnu Paramam Padam. This phrase comes in most of the shloka. Tadvishnu. This is the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu. Paramam Padam. Paramam Padam, supreme abode of Vishnu. Vishnoho Paramam Padam. So these are all from the Padma Purana. And then further he continues the description. Natad basayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha. Well, there's a similar verse in the Bhagavad Gita. Yadgatva na nivartante taddama paramam harehe. The Bhagavad Gita, it says that taddama paramam mama, because Krishna is speaking the shloka. But here, Lord Shiva is speaking to Parvati about Krishna's abode. Therefore, taddama paramam harehe is mentioned. So that means Vaikuntha, there is no sun, moon, or electricity. And once a person reaches that abode, one does not return. Tadvishnuho paramam dama shashvatam nityam achyutam nahi varnayutum shakyam kalpa koti shatairapi tadvishnuho paramam dama. That abode of Vishnu, which is the supreme abode, shashvatam, it is eternal, nityam achyutam. This supreme abode of Vishnu is eternal and immutable, and achyutam, infallible, and nahi varnayutum shakyam kalpakoti shatairapi. Even in billions of kalpas or days of Brahma, one cannot describe this abode. And then further, Lord Shiva says, Harehe padam varnayutum na shakyam mayacha datracha munindra varyaihi. It's not possible to describe the abode neither by me nor by Brahma. Datra refers to Brahma, nor by the best of the sages, Munindra Varyaihi. Yasmin pade achyuta ishvaro yaha so anga veda yadiva na veda. In that abode, Lord Achyuta is the ultimate controller. Achyuta is the Ishvara in that abode. Yet I cannot say whether or not even he knows the full extent of its glory. That means even Lord Vishnu does not know the full extent of Vaikuntha's glory. So Anga Veda Yadiva na Veda. I don't know whether he also knows. Yadaksharam Veda Guhyam Yasmin Deva Adi Vishve Nisheduhu Yastam na Veda Kimrucha Karishyati Yau Tadvidusta Ime Samasate. What is the meaning? Yad Aksharam, that abode is Akshara means that which can be destroyed. Akshara means imperishable. And Veda Guhyam, that abode of Vaikuntha is described confidentially in the Vedas. So the gods who preside over cosmic functions, they take shelter of that abode. Yasmin Deva Adi Vishve Nisheduhu. And if Yastam na Veda Kim Rucha Karishyati, if a person does not know the truth of this abode, if a person does not know the truth of this abode, how can the Vedic mantras be of any use? Kim Richa, Richa refers to the Rigveda mantras. Richa refers to the Rigveda mantras, basically Vedic mantras. Kim Richa Karishyati. How can the Vedic mantras be of any use? And those who know this truth directly encounter that abode. Tad viduhu, those who know this truth, te ime samasate, they directly encounter that abode. Further description continues. Tad Vishnu paramam padam sada pashyanti surayah aksharam shashvatam nityam diviva chakshuratatam apraveshtum ashakyam tad brahmarudradi daivataihi jnanena shastra margena viksyate yogi pungavaihi aham brahma cha devascha na jananti maharshayah sarvopanishadamartam drishtva vakshyami suvrate. So Tadvishnu Paramam Padam. So the sages Sada Pashyanti Sureha always see that abode of Vishnu. Again, Aksharam, which is eternal, imperishable, Shashvatam, undecaying, and extends like the sun's effulgence in the sky. Nityam Divi Iva Chakshuratatam. It extends like the sun's effulgence in the sky. And Apraveshtum Ashakyam Tad Brahma Rudradi Daivatai. Neither Brahma nor Rudras and other Devatas can enter that abode, are unable to enter that abode. Jnanena Shastra Margena Vikshyate Yogi Pungavaihi. The best of the yogis, they envision that Vaikuntha with the eye of knowledge, refined through the scriptures. Jnanena Shastra Margena. Aham Brahmacha Devacha na Jananti Maharshayah. This abode of Vaikuntha is not known by me. Shiva is speaking this shloka. Nor by Brahma or the gods or by the great sages. Sarvo Panishadamartam Drishtva Vakshyami Suvrate. The Lord Shiva is addressing Parvati by the word Suvrate. Earlier he addressed by the word Bhudara Nandini or by Shubha. Now he is addressing a Suvrate. Suvrata is the Pratipadika noun stem. The Sambodhana Vibhakti word is Suvrate. O Suvrate, I will explain it to you, for I have learnt the meaning of all the Upanishads. I will explain that abode of Vaikuntha because I have learnt the meaning of all the Upanishads. And then further he continues. Vishnoho pade parametu madhya utsa shubhahvayah. Vishnoho pade parametu madhya utsa shubhahvayah. Yatra gavo bhuri shringa asate swasukam prajaha. Atra hi tatparam dhama giyamanasya sharnginah. Tadbhati paramam dhama गोभिर्गेयैषु बाह्वयैः आदित्यवर्णं तमस परस्तात् ज्योतिरुत्तमम् अथातो ब्रह्मणो लोक शुद्धः सह सनातनः. So before somebody can read the translation, sometimes you may wonder, like the whole anuccheda is nothing about is completely about the description of Vaikuntha. So it is the whole topic is completely immersed in the transcendence about the topic of Vaikuntha. So one may sometimes we get a question: how do these descriptions given in the Bhagavatam about Vaikuntha, the topics of transcendence, how can they help in the different problems of our current day activities in our current life? Every person in our current life, we are faced with different struggles in this world. So, how do these descriptions help in a practical way? So, these descriptions, at least they give actually subject matter for absorption in our mind. They give a subject matter of a superior absorption for our mind. Generally, our mind is consumed by the immediate problems, whether, say, within a family, some differences, or within some community, or even among the, say, preachers or different other things, sometimes different problems. A person, many times we are absorbed in certain problems. For example, sometimes even in say, among the spiritual leaders or something like, so this is my region for preaching, you cannot come here for preaching, or this is your region for like that. Sometimes there are differences even in that leaders also, like this region you cannot come for preaching, or this is my space, and or in a family there may be different problems. So I was just discussing with one devotee. So the devotee said, like, for example, if you see currently in our own body, that there are many bacteria in our own body, in different parts of the body, and there is fight between different bacteria. This is my region. My region is this part of the hand, or my region is, you cannot come to that bacteria is trying to fight with another bacteria. You cannot come to this portion of the body. This is my area. Like that, there is fight going on between different bacteria. But when you see a overall picture, because these bacteria are absorbed in their tiny areas of proprietorship, they are just their consciousness is totally absorbed in fighting with other bacteria. But when they elevate their consciousness, when they see a superior picture, then they will understand that how petty that I am just fighting for my consciousness is getting completely consumed by this small differences, small problems. So therefore, it is important to have a higher picture. Like a man, suppose the person who is seeing the two bacteria fighting in the body. Of course, we may not be able to perceive the bacteria, but I'm just saying for example. So the person who is seeing the two bacteria fighting, uh, fighting in that body, he may think, oh, it is too insignificant. Why are they fighting? Oh, this is my area, that area. It is too insignificant. So because the person has a larger picture, so therefore he sees the fight between the two bacteria over that region, he sees that as too insignificant. Or in a house, suppose maybe in some corner of the house, there may be fight between some ants and one group of ant and another group of ant. This is my region. This I can only eat this portion of the this food. This portion of the some sweet is spilled over there, and the different ants are trying to say fight with each other something. But the person who is in the house, he may think that, oh, it is too insignificant. Why are they absorbed in fighting? So because his consciousness is on a different level, so therefore he sees the fight between the ants as too insignificant. So similarly, so when a person's consciousness is absorbed in a little on a higher platform, then uh, the problems uh, the problems which are happening in our day-to-day life or something, uh, we can consider the insignificant nature of these problems. Of course, oftentimes we have to deal with the practical problems, but at the same time, we have to deal with the problems without letting our consciousness consumed by those problems. We have to deal with the practical problems, but at the same time, when we try to have a superior absorption, superior quality of absorption for our consciousness, then we will not be consumed by the problems while dealing with the problems. In that way, these shlokas are helpful. So somebody can read the translation.
Even all the beggars on the flyover bridge, they're fighting for that.
Yes. Correct. From here. In the center.
Anyone wants to read? Please. In the center of the supreme abode of Sri Vishnu is the spring called Subha. There are many long-horned cows accompanied by their calves sitting comfortably around it. That is the supreme abode of the glorious Sri Vishnu. That supreme abode appears splendorous with the cows and by the mantras called Subha. It is pure, eternal, beyond ignorance, effulgent, and brilliant like the sun. The young, eternal, transcendental couple, Shri and Vishnu, reside there in this conscious, eternal abode, which is well above other planets and never deprived of its general characteristics.
So this is the next shloka. Samanya vyute dure antesmin shashvate pade tas tastatur jagarukesmin yuvanau Sri Sanatana. The transcendental couple Vishnu and Lakshmi Devi reside there in that conscious eternal abode. And this abode is above all the planets and never deprived of the general characteristics. Samanya avyute dure. And then further, Lord Shiva gives a description. Yata swasarau yuvati bhulile Vishnu vallabe. Atra purve yecha sadhya Vishwadeva sanatanaha. Tehanakam mahimana sachanta shubhadarshanaha. Tatpadam jnanino vipra jagruvamsa samindate. So, Bhu Leela, there are two sisters, Bhu and Leela. The two sisters, Bhu and Leela, they are Vishnu Vallabhe. That means they are dear to Vishnu. Who are dear to Lord Vishnu, they live there. They live in that abode. And the Atra Purve Yecha Sadhya Vishwadeva Sanatana. The eternal and the beautiful Devas, the Sadhyas and Vishwadevas, recite the glories of this abode. Teha Nakam Mahimana Sachanta. And the learned Brahmanas and the Jnanis always aspire for Vaikuntha. Tat Padam Jnanino Vipra Jagruvamsa Samindate. The Vaikuntha is aspired by the great learned Brahmanas, the Jnanis, like that. And then further, Tadvishnu Paramam Dama Mokshayitya. That abode of Vishnu is also called by the name Moksha. Tasmin Bandha Vinirmukta Prapyante Swasukam Padam. Those who are liberated from bondage to the material world, they will attain that blissful place. Yam prapya na nivartante tasman moksha buddha. Having attained that abode, one never returns. Therefore, this place is called moksha. Moksha parampadam lingam amritam Vishnu mandiram. So from this last these three lines gives various names for this Vaikuntha. Moksha parampadam lingam amritam Vishnu mandiram aksharam paramam dhama Vaikuntam shashvatam param nityam cha paramavyoma sarvodkrishtam sanatanam. All these are various synonyms for the word Vaikuntha. What are the different synonyms? The different synonyms are the moksha, parampadam, lingam, amritam, Vishnu mandiram, aksharam, paramadama, Vaikunta, shashvatam param, and sarvodkrishta and sanatana. Around, I think, 11 names are given, synonyms. So, paryaya vachakan yasya param damno achyutasya hi. Paryaya vachi shabda means synonyms, words which have a similar meaning. Paryaya vachakan yasya param damno achyutasya hi. Tasya tripad vibhutestu rupam vakshyami vistarat. So these are all various synonyms for the supreme abode of Lord Achyuta. So I will now delineate in detail the form of the Tripad Vibhuti. So Lord Shiva is continuing. I will describe the form of the Tripad Vibhuti. Yetad ritika shrutayo vaidikeshu praya prasiddha iti na udahriyante. So the mantras offering a similar description, Yetad ritika shrutayo, are commonly known to the followers of the Vedas. Therefore, I will not cite them here. Vaidikeshu prayaha prasiddha iti na udahriyante. And then he quotes a shloka from the Narada Pancharatra. Shri Narada Pancharatre cha Brahma Narada Samvade Jitanta Stotre. In the Narada Pancharatra, in the dialogue between Brahma and Narada, there is a section called as Jitanta Stotra. From that he quotes some shlokas. I'll read the verse and then somebody can read the translation. Lokam Vaikunta Namanam Divya Shadguna Samyutam Avaishnavanam Aprapyam gunatraya vivarjitam. So we can see the meaning easily. Vaikuntha namanam. This Vaikuntha nama divya shadguna samyutam. It is endowed with the 6 opulences. Avaishnavanam aprapyam. It cannot be attained by those who are not devotees. Vaishnava means Vishnu Bhakta. Those who are not Bhaktas of Vishnu, they cannot attain. Gunatraya vivarjitam. It is free from the 3 modes of nature. Nitya siddhai samakirnam tanmayai panchakalikaihi. Nitya siddhai samakirnam. That means it consists of, it is inhabited by the Nitya Siddha devotees of the Lord. Tanmayai panchakalikai. That means panchakalikai, they worship, the Nitya Siddha devotees worship the Lord 5 times a day. So that is why we see in our temple also, how many artis we have? Morning Mangala Arti, Darshan Arti, and then Mangal Bhog Arti, Raj Bhog Arti, Vaikalika Bhog Arti, and Sandhya Arti. Yeah, we have six artis. Basically, whatever is going on in the spiritual world, that is replicated here in the temple. 6 artis and 6 offerings. So this here it is mentioned Panchakalika. Sabha prasada samyuktam vanaischopavanaih shubham vapi kupatadagaischa vriksha shandai sumanditam aprakritam surairvandyam ayutarka samaprabham. So it is explained that Sabha Prasada, the Vaikuntha consists of beautiful forests, Vana, and palaces. Prasada means palaces. And pleasure gardens. Upavanai means pleasure gardens. And Sabha, assembly houses. Vapi Kupa Tadagaischa. Vapi means lakes. Kupa is the ponds. Tadaga is the wells. Kupa is the well. Tadaga is the pond. Lakes, ponds, wells, and clusters of trees. Vriksha Shandaihi. Vriksha is the trees. Vriksha Shandaihi means clusters of trees. Augment its beauty. Mandita means ornament. Sumandita means all these ornament, they enhance the beauty of the Lord. The purpose of the ornament is to enhance the beauty. So all these things enhance the beauty of Vaikuntha. Aprakritam. Surair Vandyam Ayutarka Samaprabham. The spiritual devas eulogize this abode, whose effulgence is equal to thousands of suns. Ayutarka Samaprabham. Arka means suns. Arka means sun. Krishne Swadamo Pagate Dharma Dhyanadibhi Saha Kalau Nashtad Drishamesha Puranarko Adunoditaha. This famous shloka in the Bhagavatam, it's explained that after Krishna has gone back to the abode, the same Krishna has appeared in the form of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is compared to the sun in order to destroy the darkness of Kali Yuga. So Arka means sun. Ayutarka means thousands of suns. Ayutarka Samaprabham. The effulgence of Vaikuntha is equivalent to thousands of suns. And then further, from Brahmanda Purana he quotes. We'll at least complete this anuccheda. Brahmanda Puranecha Tam Ananta Gunavasam Mahattejo Durasadam Aprathyaksham Nirupamam Paranandam Atindriyam. Unto that abode which has unlimited qualities, Ananta Guna, and which is effulgent, Mahat Teja. Teja means effulgent, Mahat Teja, and Durasadam, which is difficult to obtain. Aprathyaksham, which cannot be perceived with our pratyaksha senses. Nirupamam, that means, Nirupamam means it is devoid of a material form. because it is devoid of a material form, vaikuntha cannot be compared with anything material. And paranandam atindriyam, para anandam, supremely blissful, atindriyam, beyond the material senses. And then further he quotes from the Itihasa Samuchaye Mudgalopakyane. In Itihasa Samuchaya, in that Grantha, there is the Mudgala Upakyana. In that he quotes a series of shlokas. Brahmana Sadana Durdvam Tadvishnu Paramam Padam Shuddham Sanatanam Jyoti Param Brahmeti Yadviduhu Nirmama Nirahankara Nirdvandva Yejitendriyaha Dhyana Yoga Parashchaiva Tatra Gachanti Sadavaha Yerchayanti Harim Vishnum Krishnam Jishnu Sanatanam Narayanamajam Devam Vishwaksenam Chaturbhujam Dhyayanti Purusham Divyam Achyutam Chasmaranti Ye Labante Techutasthanam Shrutiresha Sanatani. So somebody can read this portion, the translation. I'll show you. Yeah, this.
Aparna Mataji or Karuna Mataji, anybody wants to read?
Supreme abode of Sri Vishnu.
The supreme abode of Sri Vishnu lies about the residence of Sri Brahma. It is pure, eternal, effulgent, and is known as Parabrahma. Only those saints who have perfect sense control are free from all duality, devoid of the sense of I and mine, and who always meditate on the Lord, reach that abode. Those who worship Sri Vishnu, Sri Hari, Krishna, Jishnu, Narayan, Lord Aja, the four-handed Vishwaksena, and those who meditate on the Supreme Person Achyuta and remember him exclusively attain the Lord's infallible abode. This is the eternal verdict of the Shrutis.
It's a beautiful shloka from the Mudgalopakyana from Itihasa Samuchaya. So we can see that the six Goswamis, they have really studied extensively many shastras. The Shadgoswami Ashtakam, there is a shloka which comes that Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunau Saddharma Samsthapakau. After studying various shastras and after thoroughly Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunau, after thoroughly analyzing, after doing vichara of all these shastras, Saddharma Samsthapakau, they have established the Saddharma that refers to devotional service. So here they are quoting from various shastras, from so many Upanishads, so many Puranas to describe the Vaikuntha. And then he quotes from the Skanda Purana. Skande Sri Sanat Kumara Markandeya Samvade. The Skanda Purana, there is a dialogue between Sanat Kumara and Markandeya. Yo Vishnu Bhakto Viprendra Shuddha Chakradi Chikhnitaha Sayati Vishnu Lokam Vai Daha Pralaya Varjitam. For best of the Brahmanas, the devotees of Sri Vishnu who mark their bodies with the conch, disc, club and lotus go to the abode of Sri Vishnu, which is free from the conflagration of final description. Daha Pralaya Varjitam. So this shloka also tells the importance of having the Vaishnava Tilaka markings. Of course, in the Sri Sampradaya and all, they have the they mark with Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. But or we can mark the body with the 12 tilakas. Sometimes you may wonder what is the, so this is just a ritual to mark the tilaka. But this ritual is a way of expressing our love for the Lord. Kantimala, tilak, they are all way of expressing our love. So that those devotees who mark their bodies with this tilaka and this one, they go to the abode of Vishnu. And then the last section of this anuccheda. So atra, now there is a prose. Atra pada damadi shabdena स्थानवाचकेन स्वरूपे त्वरूढेन यदि कश्चित् कथञ्चित् स्वरूपमेव वाचयति तर्हि अन्यत्र तत्प्रसङ्गे ते अभिगच्छन्ति मत्स्थानं यद् ब्रह्म परमं विदुः इत्यादौ साक्षादेव स्थानशब्दनिगदेन तन्निरसनीयम्. So what is he saying that? So in these so many shlokas which are quoted, so the words like pada and sthana or dhamma, they have been used in the primary sense of the word. What is the primary sense of the word pada and dhamma? The primary sense is that they refer to the abode. They refer to the abode. And not these words are not used in the unconventional sense of the Lord Swarupa. That is his form or nature. So the word pada and dhamma, they can also refer to the nature of the Supreme Lord. Or they can also refer to the form of the Supreme Lord. But in these shlokas, the pada and dhamma, which have come in so many places, Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. In these verses, the word pada and dhamma are used in the primary sense. That means abode. And then he says, Yadi tatrapi chakarad chakaradi adhyaharadi dainyena purva darshita itihasa samuchayasya param brahmeti yad viduhu iti visheshana viruddham vakya bedam eva angikaroti tarhi swamate तत्र तत्रोक्त लोक शब्दः सहायी कर्तव्यः. So what is he saying here? But nevertheless, if suppose somebody decides to pursue the unconventional meaning of the word pada and dhamma, instead of taking the primary meaning of the word pada and dhamma to be the abode, suppose somebody gives a unconventional meaning of the word pada and dhamma, then it should be refuted. As elsewhere in the same text, there is a direct use of the word sthana, such as in they attain my place called Param Brahma. In the Itigata Samuchaya verse which was quoted, Param Brahmeti Yad Viduhu. They attain my place called as Param Brahma. So therefore, we should take the primary meaning only, not the secondary unconventional meaning. So somebody may put the weak argument that one should read the phrase that this is known as Param Brahma, cited earlier from the Itikata Samuchaya as a separate sentence by inserting the word and. But this interpretation, however, separates the substantive pada from the immediately preceding adjectives that qualify it. So Jiva Goswami is very minutely analyzing. When we go to that Itikata Samuchaya shloka. Shloka was it? The Itikata Samuchaya shloka, there's a chakara was used. Chakara one of the meaning of the word chakara is and. So somebody tries to interpret that shloka as that one should read the phrase as it is known as Param Brahma by inserting the word chakara. But this interpretation separates the substantive pada from the immediately preceding adjectives that qualify it. So it will separate the Visheshya from the Visheshana. Visheshya is the an object which you want to describe. Visheshanas are the adjectives or the qualifiers which are used to describe that object. When we additionally introduce the chakara, then it will separate the Visheshanas from the Visheshya. And then further he says, Tatascha Padadama Sthanaloka Rupanam Tesham Shabdanam Ekatra Vastuni Prayogat Parasparam Anyartam Duri Kurvantas Te Kamva Na Bodayanti Swam Artam Yata Bhagavan Sri Vishnurayam Iti. Nonetheless, if this explanation is entertained, it would then be necessary to borrow the word loka used in these other quotes. Who would not comprehend that just as the words Bhagavan, Hari and Vishnu in a sentence like, this is Bhagavan, Vishnu, Hari, speak of only one person, the words Pada, Dama, Sthana and Loka are being used synonymously. Their usage together in one place makes any other interpretation impossible. So the sum and substance of this paragraph is that that the word pada and dama used in this so many above shlokas, we have to take the normal conventional meaning only. The normal conventional meaning of the word pada and dama is abode. So therefore, all these verses, they describe about the abode of Vishnu. They describe about the Vaikuntha Loka only. If a person tries to give an alternative interpretation, Pada and Dama as being referring to the nature of Vishnu or the form of Vishnu, then these interpretations will meet with many contradictions. That is what Jiva Goswami is saying. The last few sentences. Ata hanta tatrapi chet swarupa matra vachakatam bhikshyate tarhi sputameva padma vaishnavadi vachanair vipaksho trepaniyaha. Hanta is basically it's a way of condemning something. Just like when the Brahmana Patnis, when the Brahmanas realize their mistake of not giving footsteps to the Krishna's cowherd boyfriends, and when they realize that how their wives made the right decision, they went and got the mercy of Krishna. And the Brahmanas condemned themselves. If you read those shlokas, the word hanta comes. To hell with our Vedic learning, to hell with our Brahminical disposition. We failed to recognize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So hanta, alas, if they still beseech one to accept that all these words carry the meaning of the word Swarupa, then such disputants should be openly put to shame by citing the verses from texts like Padma Purana and Vishnu Purana. If somebody tries to give an explanation of the word Pada and Dama as referring to Swarupa and not the abode of Vishnu, then such an explanation should be put to shame by citing the verses from the Padma Purana and Vishnu Purana. So, karmadi aprapyatvat pratipadaka vakyani tu visheshato vaitra pani rupani santyeveti vaktavyam. In particular, Shruti statement that declare Vaikuntha unapproachable by means of karma. So it was mentioned that the Shruti statement mentioned that unapproachable by the fruitive activities. When we say unapproachable by the fruitive activities, that means it is giving a description of a place only. Only with the place we say that it is unapproachable or it can be approached. So he says that कर्मादि अप्राप्यत्वात् प्रतिपादक वाक्यानि तु विशेषतो वेत्र पाणि रूपाणि सन्त्येव इति वक्तव्यम्. So vetra refers to what? Vetra refers to stick. Veni vetra we say. Vetra refers to stick. Like you see Gopalji's vigraha. Gopalji has a stick in his hand for herding the cows. Radha Gopinath temple, he has a stick in his hand herding the cows. That is the Veni. We say Veni Vetra. So Vetra Pani Rupani Santyeva iti Vaktavyam. So the statement which says that Vaikuntha cannot be approached with the fruitive activities. That statement stands with the nightstick in hand, as if ready to chastise anyone who disagrees with the explanation that Pada and Dhamma refers to the abode. So Jiva Goswami is trying to say that in these shlokas, the word Pada and Dhamma, they refer to the abode. They don't refer to the Swarupa, or the nature. And finally he says, Tasmat Om Namaste. That is the primary shloka quoted in this Anuccheda, 6.9.33. Ityadi Padyamapi Sadhuveva Vyakyatam Devaha Sri Harim. In conclusion, it may be said the correct explanation of the prose text has been given. So we will go through the purport to this Anuccheda in the next week class. So with this Anuccheda, the 9 characteristics of Vaikuntha have been completed. The purport we will go through and then 73rd Anuccheda will begin. So anybody has any questions or comments? Okay, we'll stop here. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. Hare Krishna. ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. श्रील जीव गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. गौर भक्त वृंद की जय.